Hi everyone, welcome to Palettes, Pats, Perfumes and Panning. It's Phoebe Faye here, and we're here today with a special video for me, which is Share My Show With Me. So if you're interested to see what my show is, keep watching. Today's Share My Show With Me is going to be the Real Housewives franchise, which I'm sure you're familiar with. It's a great franchise featuring successful women in business and all about their lives. So it's really interesting reality show. Or shows. There's so many of them these days. There's international versions, and of course there's the many American versions. We have OC, we have New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, the short-lived DC show. We have Miami, we have Beverly Hills, Potomac, Salt Lake City, and I hear that there's going to be a Dubai show coming soon, which sounds really interesting, so keep an eye out for that one. And we also have the international versions. We have the brilliant Melbourne, the brilliant Cheshire. We also have the Real Housewives of Jersey and the Channel Islands. We have what else do we have? We have the Real Housewives of Sydney, Australia. That was another short-lived show. And we also have the Real Housewives of Vancouver, which I enjoyed a lot, which lasted for 2 seasons. So we'll talk a little bit about all the shows today. So first of all, we have the Real Housewives. I watch it on Hayu here in Ireland. You can also watch it on the Hayu app. I also used to watch it on ITVB, or you can watch it, really, there's lots of places you can watch it online and on streaming apps. I think it's on Netflix too. So it premiered in 2006, the first installment, with the original 5 housewives of Orange County. There was Laurie Peterson, there was Vicky Gunvalson, Jo De La Rosa. There was also Gina Q and Kimberly Bryant, who only lasted 1 season on the show. That was where it started. It's very different, that show, to the way it is now, because there wasn't much fighting, there wasn't much of that. It was kind of more about their families and their work lives. So that was very different. So if you're interested in watching those shows, I'd recommend going back in time to 2006 and watching them. They're really good for what they were at the time. Now the show is more glamorous, more, kind of the time. So that was what it was like in 2006. So some of my favorite ones are Beverly Hills and Miami. I like all the shows. The short-lived DC show is really interesting. It was in 2008 or 2009, I believe, that it premiered for 1 season on Bravo TV in America. And we had an incident where one of the housewives and her husband, Michaela and Tarek Salahi, went to the White House where they weren't invited, I believe. And Joe Biden was there and they took a selfie with him. So that's kind of interesting, because Joe Biden is now the president of the United States, obviously. So that's worth a watch too, if you can find that to watch. I know it's kind of hard to find that one to watch, but it's on Hayu here in Ireland, so we can watch it. So we have also the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which is a favourite among fans. That one started in, I think it was 2010, maybe around that. So we had Taylor Armstrong, we had Adrienne Maloof, we had Camille Grammer back then. We also had Lisa Vanderpump, famous Lisa Vanderpump, and we had Kim and Kyle Richards back in season 1. And now the show is it's in its 12th season, and it's currently airing here in Ireland and also worldwide, I guess. And streaming apps, all that. But it's airing in the United States on Bravo at the moment. The 12th season, which is really good. You should if you haven't seen Beverly Hills, I'd start watching it from the beginning, and I know it'll take a long time, but work your way up to season 12 where we're at now. And there's some new characters in the show. Kyle Richards is still in the show, but all the aforementioned before aren't. They've all left in one way or another throughout the years. But we still have Kyle Richards, and there's a lot of new characters, including Lisa Rinna. We have Dorit Kemsley, Erica Jane, Garcelle Bouvet, Sutton Strack. We also have who else do we have? We have a new housewife this season, Diana Jenkins, and we also have Crystal Kung Minkoff, who joined last season. So that's, it's a really good show. It's definitely worth a watch if you're interested in reality TV, all that sort of stuff. So then we had The Real Housewives of Miami, which was originally supposed to be about a show about women cooking the first season, but then it was made into a housewives show after that. So this first season we had several characters, and if it's interesting to watch that one because it was actually originally supposed to be about Miami housewives or Miami women having cooking and holding cooking at their houses for each other and just having like a little dinners with each other. That quickly transformed because of all the drama into a housewives show, and it was picked up by Bravo, I think. And it was cancelled after its third season. It had a reboot after season 1, and it's rebooted again now in season 4. We have new characters. So season 1 of The Real Housewives of Miami, I have my DVD here for reference. It featured Christy Rice, Larsa Pippen, who both of them were only on it for the first season. But Larsa Pippen is back now. We have Leah Black, Adriana Demora, Marisol Patton, and Alexia Echeverria. Hope I said that right. Season 1 was great, but it wasn't cancelled, but it's just like it kind of went on a hiatus, I think, and then they came back with season 2 of the show with some new housewives. They kept Leah Black, Adriana, and Marisol Patton, and also Alexia was in a friend status that season. So they also introduced Anna Kinkoches, Karen Sierra, Lisa Hochstein, and Joanna Krupa that year. And that was a really good season. That season, there was an altercation at a charity lingerie party, which Lisa Hux, it's renowned now by Housewives fans as a really good episode, or 2-part episode, where one of the cast members was hit by another one. I think that was the first physical altercation in Bravo history, or in Housewives history at least. So they're really entertaining episodes. It was a really entertaining show. Then in season 3 we had some of them leave, and Marisol Patton was a friend, and we had Alexia, Adriana, Leah, Lisa, and Joanna again in that season, and then it was cancelled. But so we also have back in season 4 now of the rebooted show, we have Alexia back as a full-time housewife. We have Lisa Hochstein. We have Larsa Pippen back, who hasn't been on the show since season 1, but she's back after her friendship with the Kardashian family kind of came to an end. And we also have some new housewives. We have Marisol Patton and Adriana back too. And there's some new housewives. There's Dr. Nicole Martin, Gertie, and Julia Lemigova, who is married to Martina Navratilova. And she's the first lesbian housewife, so that's good. So that's basically kind of a foray or an introduction into the show. As you can tell, I'm really interested in the Real Housewives franchise. I would love to do some more videos on this. I'd love to do maybe a watch with me, maybe as I watch an episode and give commentary as it's running. That would be really interesting. I see some YouTubers do that with other shows, so that would be really cool. If I could, somehow manage to watch an episode and live and give my commentary on it as we're watching. That'd be interesting. And also, if you have a preference for any shows, which I'm sure you do, everyone has their favourites, give me a little comment below and tell me which ones you prefer, which ones you don't like, maybe, you know, whatever it may be. Personally, I like them all. I'd watch any of them, but I prefer, my favorites would definitely be some of the international franchises, and also I like OC, Miami and Beverly Hills, probably, and I'd add Salt Lake City in there too. It's a really good show. It's a new one. It's only its second season, or it was in its second season. It's finished that now. It's filming the third. I like that show. Yeah, they'd be my favourites probably. So we'll talk a little bit about the international ones. There's a lot of international. I think once it caught on in the US, people started to take note and maybe thought that, you know, it would be an interesting thing to do. So there was a short-lived show called, I think it was called, I don't think it was called The Real Housewives of Dublin, but it was, you know, kind of basically that. It was Housewives of Dublin or something. So we had our own in this country for a little while anyway, but it wasn't really the same format. It was different. Yeah, I didn't really watch much of that, or I did watch, I've seen like clips on YouTube, but it wasn't really the best, to be honest. I'd love if they made one here in Ireland. That'd be great to watch. Maybe The Real Housewives of Dublin or something like that. So anyway, we move on. So there's a few Australian ones. We have The Real Housewives of Melbourne, and there was also The Real Housewives of Sydney, but that's cancelled. The Real Housewives of Melbourne is really good. I enjoy that show a lot. That would be one of my favourites as well. It would definitely be up there for me, and for a lot of people I know too. I see online a lot of people like that show. And then there's The Real Housewives of Cheshire, which is the longest running of the international franchises. It's just wrapped up its 14th season, I think. There's a lot of seasons of that because they do more than one a year. I think they do, like, they used to anyway. They used to do like 2 seasons every year, so that's why there's so many of them. That's a really good one too. And then there's what else do we have that I like? The Real Houses of Vancouver was good. That was obviously set in Vancouver, Canada. That one was good. I really enjoyed that one too for the 2 seasons it was on. Yeah, I'm not sure why that one was cancelled actually, because it was quite good. So the first season of Vancouver Housewives had starred Mary Zilba, Ronnie Negus, Jodie Clayman, Christina Kiesel, and Reiko McKenzie. And yeah, that was really good. I'm not quite sure why it was cancelled. There was a lot of controversy surrounding it. I guess maybe that's factored into it being sadly cancelled. But they had their own reunion too, and there was a man that hosted it that wasn't Andy Cohen. I remember that when I was watching it. It was kind of strange seeing someone else host a reunion. We've all become accustomed to Andy. But we also have in Melbourne the host of the reunion shows is Alex Perry, and he's also not Andy Cohen. So that's that. And the host of the reunion shows for Jersey, in the Channel Islands that is, and Cheshire is Brian Dowling, a personality in the UK, a TV personality. So we have a few different hosts worldwide, but of course Andy is sort of the, you know, the holy grail of housewives, and the, you know, the one everyone sort of talks about. So we'll talk a little bit about Cheshire and the Jersey show. And we have The Real Houses of Jersey, which airs on ITVB. That's a really good show. I know it's kind of not it's not one of the top shows, but I really enjoy it. I know some people don't, but I really enjoy it. I think it's a really interesting show, and there's a lot of beautiful scenery. It looks like a beautiful place to visit, Jersey. in the Channel Islands, that is, not New Jersey, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So the characters in that one are a lady called Ashley, who would be my favorite character. Then we have Haiti, Jane, Margaret. We have Tessa. We have Kate, and we also in the first season, and so that's a really interesting show. It had its first reunion at the second season. It's a really good one, I'd say, to give a watch. So then there's the Real Housewives of Cheshire, which I said before is now it's going into its 15th season. So that one starred originally Dawn Ward, Lauren Simon, Tanya Bardo. There was also Leanne Brown and Pika Pixton and Magali Gore. So they're the original Housewives of Cheshire. Now that we have several new characters, we have several that have left from that original lineup, so it's kind of become a different show, if you will, but it's still really good and worth watch. All the seasons, I'd say it started the beginning, the early seasons were really good. And then we have the Real Housewives of Melbourne. We go back across the world to Australia. And we had that's one of my favorites to watch. It's really good, especially the earlier seasons again. I think the earlier seasons of the shows are really good. So then we go back across the world to Melbourne in Australia, and in that one we have Lydia Scavello, we have Gina Liano, we had Janet. These are the original Housewives. Some of them are still on the show, some of them aren't. We had Janet Roach, Jackie Gillies, also Chica Kiba and Andrea Moss were in the first season. And then in season 2 we met Pettifleur Beringer and Gamble Bro, two great personalities who brought a lot to the show. And then some housewives left, some are still on the show, and I think they're filming their 6th season now. And due to COVID, there was kind of like a gap for a few years where there was no Melbourne Housewives, which was a bit sad, but it's back on track now, I think, and they're filming their latest season, so we'll see who is on that one when it comes out. And then the Sydney Housewives, which is also in Australia. Didn't really watch that one as much, but it aired for one season. That I remember watching that one. That one was good. Yeah, I'd watch that one too. I'd recommend them all, really, to be honest. They're all really good in my opinion and entertaining. The conflicts are really good, and the conflicts are, the heart of the show, I guess. And the friendships and the falling out friendships and the gaining friendships and, the dynamics between the characters. Yeah, so they're all really good in their own ways, all the shows. So we go back to the US and we'll talk a little bit about some cult favorites, which is Atlanta and New Jersey. They're really well received among fans. Everyone really seems to like those ones. So the first season of Atlanta Housewives had Nene Leakes, it had Kim Zolciak, Sheree Whitfield, Lisa Wu Hartwell, and Jon Snow. And it's now I think it's 11th or 12th season. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't watched that one in a while, but I used to be a big fan of the earlier seasons. And then we have New Jersey, which is another one which is really, a favorite among fans. We had in season 1, it was really good. We had Danielle Staub, we had Jacqueline Larita, we had also the sisters Dina and Caroline Manzo, and then Teresa Giudice. So that one is really good too. You might be thinking I'm saying really good about all of them, but they really are genuinely all brilliant shows in their own rights. And so I think that's basically all of them that we've talked about. We'll talk a little bit about Salt Lake City. That one is more new to the franchise. It's only came on in the last few years. But we have Jen Shah, characters like her, Lisa Barlow, Meredith Marks, Mary Cosby, and then we have cousins Heather Gay and Whitney Rose. So they're all the characters from the first season of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And then we, in season 2, we met a lady by the name of Jenny, who is a controversial character. Look it up if you're not aware, or if you haven't heard the stories, maybe Google it. It's she's quite a controversial character, not on the show, but a lot of stuff came out after the show about her, and so she's no longer on the show. So that's that, and I believe they're introducing some new housewives for season 3, because Mary and Jenny obviously aren't on the show anymore. But I think the rest of them will be. So that's that, really. A new one that's coming to the franchise is The Real Housewives of Dubai. I'm not sure much about that one. I don't have much knowledge about that one yet because it hasn't started. But I've seen bits here and there on Instagram. And I know that Karen Stanbury from Ladies of London will be on that. She was on that Ladies of London show, which was good. I've seen a bit of that here and there. Not as big into that as I am into The Real Housewives, but I did watch that show when it aired and it was quite good. So she'll be on that, and it looks like it's going to be real glamorous, really sort of affluent ladies on it, like affluent ladies. So that looks like it's going to be really glamorous and fun. Maybe a lot of tension among the ladies, as there is in all these shows, and controversy and confrontations, rather, things like that. That's sort of the heart of the shows, isn't it? And what keeps us watching is the confrontations and the the fighting, I guess, among the ladies. That would be my favorite aspect of the show. But there's also wholesome moments, I guess, more, you see moments amongst family members, you see moments amongst friends, etc. So definitely the friction among the ladies is one of the reasons I keep watching these shows year after year. It's really entertaining, for lack of better words, I guess, to see the fights and all the, the drama of it all. It's really good to watch. It's exciting and it's fun every week to tune in. And how could I have forgotten about Mama Elsa from The Real Housewives of Miami, Marisol Patton's mother. I forgot to mention her, the late Mama Elsa. She had her own little spin-off show for a while. She was a favourite of the fans. She's sadly no longer with us as of 2022, but yeah, she was a great character on The Real Housewives of Miami. Real character, really. And everyone really loved her, including Andy Cohen. There was a little show, Havana Elsa, that ran for a while. I haven't actually seen that, but I think it was on the Bravo website. I think it ran. I think it was her and Marisol doing something to do with I think it was either tea or coffee, I'm not sure, but it was a little show they had, so that was cute. And they had a lovely bond. So sad that she's no longer with us, but I just thought I'd throw that in there. I forgot to mention her when I was going through the Housewives of Miami initially. So that would be a rundown of all the shows most of the shows anyhow. Obviously I've left a few out here and there that maybe I don't watch, but that would be for the most part on. I would say I have a lot of favourite housewives, but I'll give you one from each show or series. My favourite from the OC would definitely be Gretchen Rossi. She was on the show from seasons 4 to 8. My favourite housewife of New York City, which we didn't really get into much. I might get into that in a later video if you're interested in the Real Housewives of New York City. I know a lot of people would be. If I had to pick a favourite out from that series, I'd probably pick Bethany Frankel. She's a bit of a character. Then we have Atlanta, my favourite from that series. I would probably say, I'm going to have to think about that one because there's a lot of fun characters in that series. I do like Nene a lot, and also, who doesn't like Nene? She's kind of one of the, your favourite housewives. Also, I would say, I quite like Cynthia too. Maybe those two, but it's kind of hard to pick a favorite on these shows because there's a few that you like, and obviously there's ones you don't like, but that's life, isn't it, really? Ones you like and ones you don't like. So then there's Real Housewives of New Jersey. My favorite on that one would we'll talk about from the first seasons, I guess, because they're all in their later seasons now. There's so many characters, kind of hard to go through them all. The Real Housewives of New Jersey, I like Teresa in the first season in that one, from that one. And then we have Beverly Hills, which I will find very hard to pick a favourite. My favourite from season 1, I would say, was... let me think about that. I like the sisters Kim and Carl Richards, and I also liked Adrian quite a bit, Adrian Malouf. And then Lisa too. It's very hard to pick a favourite from that series, or just one, because there's a lot of great characters in that one. So sorry to Taylor and Camille, I guess they didn't really stand out as much in the first season. And then there is Real Housewives of Miami. I did like Real Housewives of Miami. I did like the dentist Karen Sierra in that series, but I know she was kind of in a lot of controversy and friction among the ladies, so maybe that's an unpopular opinion, but I quite liked her, and I also quite liked Larsa and Christy in the first season, and of course Marisol as well. I really like her. And then there is what are we on to next? The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I would say I like Meredith and Lisa in that series. They're probably my favourites. Then we'll talk about international now, obviously. Moving on. I would say my favourites from the Real Housewives of Vancouver in Canada. I liked Christina in season 1, and I also liked kind of like Mary Zilba, yeah. And then there's the Real Housewives of Jersey and Cheshire. The Real Housewives of Cheshire is another hard one, like Beverly Hills, because there's so many housewives. It's kind of hard to pick a few. I liked Pika, and I liked Magali in the first season. We won't go too negative. We won't say who I didn't like. And I also like Esther, who's a real character, Esther D, who joined the show in season 5. I like her, and who else? Yeah, that would be that for that show. Then the Real Housewives of Jersey. My favourites would include I like Margaret, and I like Ashley. Yeah, they're probably my favourites, and Jane, maybe from that series. And then the Real Housewives of Melbourne. Next, my favourites would include, I have a lot of favourites from this series too. It doesn't have as many seasons as Beverly Hills and Cheshire, but there's so many fun characters in that one. I like, from season 1, I liked Gina, Lydia, who else? Chica, and then of course Petty, Fleur and Gamble come in season 2. Love them, great characters. And then also liked Venus from season 4. She was a good character, I thought. Yeah, so that would be that, really. So that's kind of my rundown of the Real Housewives franchise and kind of an introduction to it, I guess. I'd love to do more videos like these. So if you enjoyed the video, the very long-winded video of the introduction into the various series, give it a big thumbs up, and please do comment below. I'd be really interested to hear your opinions about the shows. Yeah, very interested in talking about Real Housewives, and because I'm obsessed with the shows, as you can probably tell. So yeah, we'll leave it at that, and please do comment below your favorites, anything really regarding the Real Housewives, and I'll do my best to reply back to everyone. So thank you for watching, and come back soon for another video of palettes, perfumes and panning, and hopefully we'll have Tracy back soon. Bye. Also, if you have any ideas about any Real Housewives videos I could make, let me know below. I'd love to do maybe a running commentary type videos where I watch episodes from certain series and you know, like give my running commentary on what's happening and who I agree with, who I don't agree with, whatnot. Also, if you'd like me to do an individual video for each franchise or, you know, series, that would be great, and I would love to do that too. So let me know below if you'd like me to do that, starting with Orange County, and we'll, you know, go on to the later series that came into the world of Housewives. And so that's that for today's video, and please, like I said, give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed, and do comment below your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on the Housewives, your thoughts on everything we've talked about today. So bye everyone.